Most of you might disagree with me on this, but most men completely misunderstand compliments. They think a woman wants to hear the usual, "You're so beautiful," or "You're the prettiest girl I've ever met." But here's the hard truth. Those lines don't make her heart race. They make her roll her eyes. Why? Because she's heard them 1,000 times before, from men she didn't even respect. What women really respond to isn't just the words you say. It's the psychology behind them. Compliments are not about flattery. They're about influence. When delivered the right way, the right compliment doesn't just make her smile. It makes her feel a surge of attraction toward you. It taps into her subconscious needs to feel seen, understood, and desired in a way most men never bother to figure out. Think about it. If every guy is telling her the same generic thing, how do you stand out? How do you get her to not just notice you, but crave more of your attention? The answer is simple. You compliment her in a way that bypasses her ego and goes straight into her emotions. That's where real chemistry begins. In this video, we're going to break down the top 5 compliments that don't just flatter women, but actually make them want you more. These aren't cheesy pickup lines, and they're not the type of things you'll find in a corny dating book. These are psychological triggers, things that make a woman see you differently from every other man she's ever met. By the end, you'll understand exactly why most guys get compliments wrong, and how you can use just a few carefully chosen words to completely flip the script. 1. The unexpected talent compliment. Here's something most men never think about. Women don't only want to be admired for their looks, they want to feel valued for something deeper. If every man only notices her physical beauty, then in her mind, all she's worth is her face or body. That gets old very fast. But the moment you recognize a talent or skill that she has, you instantly separate yourself from the crowd. Think about it. Maybe she's good at solving problems quickly. Maybe she's creative with ideas. Maybe she's amazing at planning things. Or maybe she has a way with words. When you compliment her on that, you're telling her you see her as more than just another pretty face. You're saying, "I notice the kind of woman you are, not just how you look." That hits differently because it touches her identity. Here's an example. Instead of saying, "You're beautiful," you might say, "You know, you have this way of explaining things that actually makes people want to listen. That's rare." Notice how that doesn't sound like you're trying to impress her. It feels genuine, and it highlights something about her most men wouldn't even take the time to notice. Psychology backs this up. Women are wired to seek out men who pay attention to details that others overlook. Why? Because it signals intelligence, depth, and leadership qualities. It shows you're not lazy with your words and that you can see value beyond the obvious. But here's the key. You have to mean it. Forced compliments sound fake and can kill attraction instantly. Watch her, listen to her, and when you see something impressive, highlight it. When done right, the unexpected talent compliment makes her feel special in a way that's rare, and that's exactly what makes her want more of your attention. 2. The "I notice what others don't" compliment. One of the most powerful ways to stand out with women is to notice the little things about them that others completely overlook. Most guys see the obvious: her looks, her style, her smile. That's surface level. But when you point out something subtle, something that reflects who she is as a person, you create a deeper emotional impact. Why does this work? Simple. Women spend so much of their lives being generalized. They're called cute, sexy, or beautiful by strangers, sometimes daily. After a while, those compliments feel empty. But when you notice something unique, it makes her feel seen in a way that most men will never make her feel. And being seen is one of the most addictive feelings for a woman. Here's an example. Maybe you notice how she gets excited when she talks about something she's passionate about. You could say, The way your eyes light up when you talk about your goals is actually kind of contagious. Or maybe you notice her laugh isn't fake like most people's. It's real, unfiltered. You could say, "I like how your laugh doesn't sound rehearsed. It's actually refreshing." These aren't cheesy lines. They're observations. And because they're specific, they don't sound like something you've said to 10 other women. They sound authentic and personal. That's what makes her feel different around you. Psychologically, this type of compliment works because it tells her you're paying attention, not just to her appearance but to her essence. And women associate attention with value. If you can notice what others don't, it suggests you'll notice her needs, her emotions, and her deeper qualities in a relationship. But here's the warning: don't overdo it. If you start pointing out every small thing, it feels fake. Instead, be selective. Pick the details that genuinely stand out to you and highlight them in a way that feels natural. When you do, she'll feel like you understand her in a way most men never will, and that's how attraction grows without you even trying. 3. The personality mirror compliment. Here's something men often miss. Women are far more attached to how you make them feel than to what you say. Looks can get her attention, but personality creates lasting attraction. That's where the personality mirror compliment comes in. It's not about her appearance, it's about reflecting the best parts of her character back to her in a way that feels genuine. Think about it. Most men are quick to compliment surface-level traits. You're gorgeous, or you're stunning. Nice words, but forgettable. Now imagine telling her something like, "I like how you never let anyone walk over you." It shows you know your worth. That's different. That tells her you see strength in her, not just beauty. Or maybe she's naturally kind and thoughtful. You can say, "You have this way of making people feel comfortable around you." That's rare. When you give this kind of compliment, you're tapping into something powerful: identity. Women care deeply about how others perceive their character. By reflecting a positive trait back to her, you're reinforcing an identity she's proud of, or maybe even reminding her of qualities she didn't realize were noticeable. Either way, it creates a sense of intimacy because it proves you're actually paying attention to who she is. Psychology explains this through the concept of mirroring. Humans are drawn to people who reflect their values and personality traits back to them. It makes us feel validated and connected. For women, this is especially magnetic because it bypasses the shallow level of attraction and moves into emotional territory. But here's the catch: you can't fake it. Women are extremely good at sensing when you're just saying things to impress them. The compliment has to be rooted in real observation. That means you have to listen, watch, and actually engage with her personality. When you mirror back a part of her personality that makes her feel proud, respected, or unique, you're no longer just another guy giving out compliments. You're the guy who gets her. And trust me, that's the kind of connection that makes her want to keep you around. The feminine energy compliment. Here's where a lot of men drop the ball. They don't know how to compliment a woman for being a woman. They either overdo it with shallow comments about her looks, or they ignore her feminine energy altogether because they're too focused on trying to act cool. And then they wonder why she doesn't feel attracted to them. Wake up, fellas. Women don't want another guy who treats them like they're just a face in the crowd. They want a man who actually sees and appreciates their unique feminine presence. The feminine energy compliment is about highlighting qualities that make her feel like a woman in the best way possible. This doesn't mean being corny or worshipping her. It means acknowledging the subtle, powerful ways she brings softness, beauty, or grace into the world. For example, you could say, "The way you carry yourself has this calm, feminine energy that's really rare." Or, "There's something about your vibe that just makes a room feel lighter." Notice how those compliments aren't about her looks. They're about her presence. And presence matters more than appearance because it's about how she affects people around her. The psychology here is simple. Women want to feel desired, not only for how they look, but for the energy they bring into a man's life. When you compliment her feminine energy, you're telling her, I don't just see you, I feel you. That's something most men never say, and it's exactly why it makes such an impact. But let me be blunt. Most guys never do this because they're lazy. They think looks are enough. That's why they get stuck in the friend zone or overlooked. Don't be that guy. Start paying attention to the energy she gives off, the way she carries herself, and the effect she has on others. Compliment that, and you'll open a door into her emotions that almost no other man can. 5. You bring out the best in me. Compliment. Most men think the best compliment they can give a woman is all about her. But here's the truth. Sometimes the most powerful compliment is about how she affects you. When you tell a woman she brings out the best version of you, it does two things at once. It makes her feel special, and it makes her feel valuable in your life. Why does this work so well? Because women don't just want to be admired. They want to inspire. If she feels like being around you brings out your confidence, your ambition, or even just your peace of mind, she'll attach deep meaning to your connection. It's no longer just about attraction. It becomes about impact. Here's an example. Instead of the boring, you make me happy, try something more specific. I don't know what it is, but being around you makes me want to step up my game. Or, talking to you always makes me feel calmer, like the stress of the day disappears. Notice how those statements aren't over the top. They're honest, and they make her feel like she has a unique influence on you that no other woman does. Psychologically, this hits hard because it ties her identity to your growth. You're showing her she adds real value, not just beauty, not just company, but genuine improvement in your life. And once a woman feels she makes you better, she's far more invested in keeping that bond alive. The key here is honesty. Don't fake it just to sound smooth. Pay attention to the positive changes she brings out in you, and when the moment feels right, put it into words. That one compliment alone can transform how she views you, from just another guy to a man worth holding on to. Now let me say this. Most men don't lose women because they're broke, short, or not good-looking enough. They lose women because they don't know how to make her feel. And if you don't understand that, then you'll keep watching women you like, give their attention to guys who aren't even half the man you are on paper. That's the cold reality most men refuse to accept. So here's what I want from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your own experiences with giving compliments. Did it backfire? Did it actually work? Or maybe you realized today why certain women never responded the way you hoped. I'll be going through the comments and personally reaching out, because this isn't just a video, it's a conversation between us. Remember, words are cheap when used the wrong way, but the right words can flip attraction in your favor almost instantly. The choice is yours. Stay like every other guy, or learn how to actually stand out. As always, click on that subscribe button and make sure to turn on the notification bell, because next time I'll explain the subtle ways women test men without saying a word. Don't miss it for anything. I'll see you then.